Don't mention that here.
Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. So first up today, California's new proposal to ban gas-fueled cars by 2035, and this would require 35% of new passenger vehicle sales to be powered by batteries or hydrogen by 2026. For some context, in 2021, 12.4% of all cars sold in California were indeed electric, up from about 7% in 2020. And this proposal is set to be voted on in August of this year. A quick fun fact, Tesla has become the most subscribed to YouTube channel, sitting at 2.2 million subscribers, and I'm sure soon enough they will pass Mercedes-Benz in terms of overall video views as well. In Q1 of this year, the Model Y was indeed China's best-selling SUV, however it was actually a pretty close race. The Model Y sold 74,681 units, and in second place, the BYD Song moved 73,704. Third place was the Haval H6 with 71,411 sales. Here we have a word of caution. A user on Reddit shared this image. He is now replacing both the top and bottom parts of the vinyl on the seats. His quote for the repair or the replacement was around $1,000, about $600 for the top portion and $500 for the bottom. And I've been told the cost to fully replace a seat is around $2,000. This is the front driver's seat. But I just want to highlight that this issue actually stemmed from him using one of those white magic erasers, so just a word of caution. And in case you were not familiar, this is a feature that all Tesla owners should know about. You can of course share locations from your phone directly to your car. However, you can also do this for YouTube, and you should be able to do it for URLs as well using Safari or Chrome. Additionally, if you link your calendar and one of your calendar events has a destination in it, it will automatically pre-populate that destination in your vehicle at the proper time, which is pretty neat. And here we get a very important chart from Benchmark Mineral Intelligence. This is showing us the raw material input cost, so nothing to do with the processing of said raw materials, just the pure raw material input cost over the last roughly 2 years. And these input prices are all just indexed to January 2020 at 100. So over the last 2 years, as you can see, the cost of LFP, which is supposed to be the lowest cost option right now for electric vehicles, has done a near 7x over the last 2 years. And it's unclear exactly how long it will take for these increased raw input costs to ultimately trickle down to automakers like Tesla and Ford, GM. However, we do know that this is not a good sign for the cost of these LFP battery packs over the next 24 months. The main takeaway I want you to be aware of though is that narrative that LFPs are just the no-brainer, cheaper option when compared to the nickel-based variants may not hold true over the next few years. So once again, we'll wait and see how it plays out, but absolutely something to watch. And do not forget, LFP production is almost wholly concentrated in China. However, it's not all bad. There is a silver lining in that the spike in all of these raw input costs and the materials is leading to much more expansion by the lithium and other metal producers. So it's going to take some time to spin up new production. However, once again, over the next few years, this is definitely something that will take place. So if you're here, I'd imagine you like staying updated with the latest news, and that's why I've linked up with Morning Brew, the sponsor of today's video. Morning Brew gets you up to speed on business, finance, and tech every day in just 5 minutes. So instead of mindlessly scrolling social media in the mornings, educate yourself on the most important news items for the day. Without Morning Brew, I would never have known about Graze, the autonomous electrified lawnmower startup. And one feature that I love is that Morning Brew includes links so I can explore intriguing topics further. I've signed up for a bunch of different daily news emails over the years, and the truth is none have been as relevant, informative, and even as witty as I find Morning Brew. And it's actually been my source for more than a few Tesla news items as of late. Morning Brew is completely free and you can sign up in 15 seconds, so there's no reason not to if you're into business, finance, or tech. So just click the link in the description below to check out Morning Brew and never feel out of those water cooler talks again. The new judge that was working on Tesla's racial discrimination case did indeed find Tesla liable. However, he did reduce the damages by a significant margin. The compensatory damages were reduced from 6.9 million down to 1.5, and the punitive damages, which were deemed unconstitutionally large, were dropped from 130 million down to 13.5. And it's those compensatory damages that are meant to recover actual losses, and the punitive damages are meant to deter those behaviors in the future. And based on Supreme Court precedent, usually punitive damages are supposed to be less than 10 times more than the compensatory damages. A quick FYI, if you own Tesla shares, you can now hop on the Say website to ask your questions or to vote on others that you would like to see asked at the Q1 call that is scheduled for April 20th. And from Whole Mars, I believe this anecdote was from speaking to an engineer at the Cyber Rodeo, but he said Tesla engineers said it used to take 5 or 6 hours to assemble the underbody of the car from all the different pieces, but with large castings, it now takes 30 to 60 seconds. And there was a lot of media coverage of this event, the Mercedes EQXX breaking the 1,000 kilometer range barrier, or about 621 miles. It did this on a single charge, and it's claimed to have ended the trip with about 15% state of charge remaining. However, let's not forget, this was a prototype, so personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal. What is a big deal though is that Mercedes plans to spend $65 billion by 2026 to try to catch Tesla. This is roughly 2 to 3 times the amount of annual capex that Tesla currently sits at. Tesla is between 5 and 8 billion per year, and this would put Mercedes at around 16 billion per year. What really matters though is how efficiently or effectively Mercedes can invest this $65 billion in capital. Anybody can spend money, but the real question is how well can you spend it and what type of ROI can you generate? Rivian has hired Anissa Camadoli, who actually used to work at Tiffany, focusing on ESG. RJ said, quote, "Across the organization, she will help us integrate environmental and social impact into our decisions. The sustainability strategies we set today will have lasting influence on our company and our world, and Anissa's mindset positions her extremely well to lead and drive these critical activities." And as I record this episode, Twitter is in an all-hands-on-deck meeting discussing the offer that Elon made to buy the company earlier this morning. I'm sure you've seen most of the details by now, so I won't get into it today. We'll just wait and see how this shakes out. One thing I do want to say though, there's a lot of institutional negativity saying that Elon will be distracted from making this move if indeed his offer is accepted. I just have to say, I personally am not worried at all that Elon will lose focus. I do think it's an important endeavor, but as a Tesla shareholder, Tesla fan, you really have nothing to worry about. And an unpopular opinion, but personally, because I have a long-term investment horizon, I wouldn't mind at all if Elon did sell some Tesla shares to actually carry out his purchase of Twitter, because that would serve as an overhang on Tesla stock, and for me, that gives me a better opportunity to acquire shares at a discount. With that said though, remember, Elon does not have to sell Tesla stock to make something like this happen. And I'll send you guys off today with the very best clips from Elon's interview that just took place at the TED conference. And as far as the video tomorrow, I'm probably 50-50 at this point, so it'll just depend on what there is to go over. Please take a second to like the video if you did. Don't forget, check out Morning Brew, linked below. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.